What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to G Myers World Podcast, and the end of the NFL season is here. I first want to thank you guys for every one of you guys that downloaded my podcast from iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. The G Myers World Podcast had a lot more downloads than ever this year, and I just want to thank you guys personally for doing that. We're going to jump right into some of the, developing stories, including the fact that Ron Rivera, aka Riverboat Ron, has been fired effective immediately. We're going to run through some of the things with the playoffs. We're going to talk about the Steelers and the Bills and a lot of these games that a lot of you are probably going to be wondering about as we go into the NFL playoffs this upcoming weekend. So we're going to kick it off with what happened with the Saturday games. The Steelers and the Ravens is not really much to write about. We'll talk about. As far as people writing about it on ESPN, it's just the fact that Mike Tomlin has been successfully able to keep this team over 500, regardless of the trash that's been behind center. Since Big Ben Roethlisberger left. Obviously, the Ravens didn't play, a lot of their starters or whatever, and I do believe that Lamar Jackson is still the MVP, so we're not going to really go into the game. The Steelers won by 7, playing against 18 stringers. It should have been a lot more dominant, but obviously, it is what it is. The Steelers are struggling going into the playoffs, so the Bills and the Steelers should be a very, very interesting game, because the one thing that the Steelers are going to probably do well is play defense in the playoffs. So we'll see how that works out. Nothing really to talk about as far as the Ravens. Like I said, they were resting their players. The Texans and the Colts. This was a very, very important game for the Colts. Like I told you guys before, I did not believe that they were going to be able to do much to go in there and handle business. So therefore, the Texans were able to clutch out the playoff spot and grab that one there with C.J. Stroud coming through with 264 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor with 30 carries and 188. I do believe that the Colts will probably just let him go. Some of you guys were asking me about that. Yo, G, what do you think? Do you think that they, the way they treated him, et cetera, that he should just be able to leave? The NFL is very, very interesting, right? They want you when they want you. When they don't want you, they just do whatever they want. And then when they force you to, force you back up against the wall because of, the reason that they don't want to trade you, they don't want to negotiate, you go out there, you play like this to let another team know that you still got some juice. And then we don't know what still might happen with Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a weird scenario going on over there. So we'll wait to see what happens next year. But like I said, I didn't have any kind of, I didn't think that they would make the playoffs to begin with. I know some of you Colt fans that are diehard are like, yo, bro, it's a chance. It's always a chance. But the Texans were able to pull it out. Very, very important, though. They play the Browns, right? This Saturday or Sunday, whatever the day is. And I'm very interested to see what they do against the Browns. Because everybody is favoring the Browns. But C.J. Stroud, as long as he's healthy, he had to miss a game, but he's back now. And he played pretty well yesterday. I want to see how that, unfolds, but the Texans are going on. All right. Now, speaking of the Browns, they also did not really play, their starters or whatever. It is what it is. Like, we're not worried about it. Okay. The Bengals did what the Bengals do. Okay, they went out there, they had fun. The biggest part about the game was the Bengals dude's girlfriend that was just there, dressed mad ridiculously, and she knew that the camera was gonna be all over her. That Browning dude. So that's ultimately what was going on in that game. Other than that, the Bengals won a game that it didn't really matter. They're out the playoffs. Nobody really cares about them, and that's ultimately where we are with it. So the Browns are gonna have to be ready, because I'm telling you right now, these Texans are not playing any games. Jumping into the Lions and the Vikings. Some of you guys were hitting me up, whether it's X or whatever. Yo, Justin Jefferson, he's on the sideline saying he wants to go to the Niners. Nobody cares about these prima donnas, bro. Listen, they're going to have to figure out what's going to go. Is he very talented? Yes. Okay, but you got to have a winner mentality, and you can't act like that on the sideline because other players see and feed off of that energy. So no matter how bad it gets, I want you guys to remember, right? Calvin Johnson went through an 0-16 season, right, with the Lions. And I don't remember him during that season acting like that. And he was probably the best wide receiver in the NFL, just on a really terrible team. Look, everybody wants to win. I hope. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it because some dudes just want to get the check. But everybody wants to win. So you acting like an idiot on the sideline doesn't enhance the fact that you want to win more. It just means that you're a child. That's all it means to me at this level. So it's not impressive, and a lot of the youth that are coming up now, they feed off of this nonsense, and they believe that means he's more of a winner. I don't like that behavior because it's about me type behavior, and it's a team sport. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, I don't really care where Justin Jefferson lands. I know a lot of you only care about him because what he does for your fantasy team, but that type of behavior is disgusting. And I just, like I said, I want to get away from that because people ask me about that regularly. Yo, what do you think? I think he's a very talented guy, no Shannon Sharp. But at the same time, I don't like his behavior on the sideline. And obviously, your season was over anyway. When Kirk Cousins went down, you guys are pretty much done anyway. Mullins is garbage, but, you know, he was throwing for ridiculous yards over the last couple of weeks. He actually cost me in my fantasy league because he played so well and somebody picked him up late. But that's neither here nor there. We're not even going to get into that. But I just wanted to bring that up because I don't really care where he goes. And just remember, wherever he goes, you're going to have to deal with that nonsense anyway. So the Lions are going to be playing against the Rams, in the wild card. We're going to see how that works out. So congratulations to the Lion fans. It's pretty good the way that I brought up Calvin and the Lions not going back to the playoffs. That's a huge thing. Just imagine, Lion fans, if Calvin was still playing. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are going to the playoffs. It'd be a beautiful time. But it's not like that. You got a trash quarterback and a lot of other things going on. But congratulations to the Lions. The Vikings, it is what it is, bro. But we'll see what happens with Justin Jefferson. But again, I'm not a fan of the way that he acts on the sideline. I think it's actually disgusting. The Jaguars and the Titans. I know a lot of teams are thanking the Jaguars because they suck and they were the reason that a lot of people got into the playoffs. And it's pretty interesting. When a team has nothing to play for, like the Titans, and they can be responsible for you not going also, it's actually always hilarious to me. And I was chuckling a little bit watching Trevor Lawrence just play like garbage the entire third and fourth quarter. Like, he was just horrible. He made a few passes that were pretty decent, but ultimately he was trash as hell. And that's what the Jaguars have to look forward to. I don't know about how he's going to evolve. I've never really been, sold on him. So I kind of figured that once I saw that the Titans were up in the game at the half, I was like, 21-13, is it possible he could come back and, play tough and bring it out? I didn't think so. And I didn't trust the Jags all year, even when they were number one in their division. So it's not like I haven't been saying this week to week. Ultimately, bro, just like Tannehill, that's what he reminds me of. Like, you see like how Tannehill is garbage? That's what Lawrence, he's just a younger Tannehill. Yeah, like it's just weird. They just make really weird decisions. And I know some of you guys try to say, yo, look at what Josh Allen be doing. But Josh Allen is way more talented than Tannehill and Trevor Lawrence could ever be. Just so you know, he does play erratic, and we're going to talk about that. He does. I'm not saying he doesn't, but his talent level is so high that he's able to get away with it sometimes. And that's what makes the difference between Josh Allen and these two idiots. But anyway, getting back to the Jets, we're going to go back to the Jets and the Patriots. I really got to tell you something, right? The Jets, it was a very, very unfortunate season. I can't really make fun of them because when you lose your quarterback in game one, it's tough, bro. It's tough. And everybody knows. I don't care what anyone says. I know that Aaron Rodgers is one of the wildest quarterbacks to ever play. I know like the comments that he makes and the things that he's doing when he's on certain TV shows. I ain't going to get into that. But talent-wise, this team would have been in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to argue with anyone. If they have Aaron Rodgers the whole season, they would have been in the playoffs. It didn't work out. It wasn't in the cards. It is what it is. The Patriots should be firing Bill Belichick. As of late, the most highly reported story is that the fact that he'd be willing to give up control of certain aspects of the team because he wants to stay. But that would be embarrassing to look at Bill Belichick as a guy that doesn't have full control. So I would think that he would take his pride and want to leave if it came down to that. But as we all said, and as I've said several times, it was easily revealed that Tom Brady was the reason behind all that dynasty. Okay? Maybe a little bit of coaching here and there. He wasn't really a good personnel manager. He drafted really bad, and Tom Brady just made do with what he had, and that's what the Patriots were. You guys can argue about it if you want. I'm not going to argue with you guys. Bill Belichick, I don't really care for him anymore, dude. The guy is a terrible coach and a terrible coordinator and also a terrible drafter if you look at all the draft picks that he failed on. But it doesn't really matter about that, okay? Tom Brady came there. He did what he had to do. The Patriots suck now. It is what it is. Falcons and the Saints. Okay, this was hilarious because, Arthur Smith has been fired effective immediately, but he walked out on the field going wild because Jameis Winston decided to score in a victory formation, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I did post it on X so you guys could see it initially because I watched it live. Absolutely hilarious. One of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time because of the fact that the Saints or the Falcons did not make the playoffs. So that just made it more funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're over here arguing and doing all this weird stuff, but neither of them are going anywhere. That was absolutely hilarious. Okay? Now, before you guys, yo, G, did you see the way Derek used car play? Well, where was that all year? Like, okay, he was throwing dots and doing all this weird stuff in a meaningless game. Depending on what happened, it was like a lot of scenarios. But ultimately, they didn't make the playoffs. But what I want to say is this, though. Where was that all year? You got, oh yeah, he had no. The dude's garbage. All right, don't even start with me, you Saint fans, 504 dummies. I'm gonna tell you right now, that dude's garbage. Falcons, look, they fired the coach. He was a problem. He wasted Bijan Robinson's talent the whole year. I don't know what's going to happen with Ritter, though. I don't know if he's the guy or he's not. I don't know what he's doing. That guy, low-key, he might suck, though. Like, I'm not sure, but we can take a look at it if you guys want to. Buccaneers and the Panthers. You got to give Baker Mayfield credit. He only had 137 yards, and he's playing the Eagles, who don't look really good going into the playoffs. But this is huge for Baker Mayfield to bring this team to the playoffs. I did not believe that they would be able to make it. Just like a lot of people, I didn't think that Baker was going to be able to sustain what was needed. He came up big in certain games, and he did what he had to do. And ultimately, look, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Funny thing about it, the Panthers fired the GM, Scott Fitterer, while I'm actually doing this podcast. Like, it's breaking news. It's hilarious. Dudes are getting fired all over the place as we look and talk about this game. So, I do want to say this, bro. The Buccaneers should not win the game against the Eagles. But if for whatever reason the Eagles lose, that would be absolutely hilarious. That's all I'm going to say about that. But congratulations to the Buccaneer fans. You guys went out there and you got it done. Bears and the Packers. Now, the Packers made the playoffs by beating the Bears, right? Okay, listen to what happens with the scenario now, right? Early in the season, Jordan Love was playing like hot garbage. He was throwing like 95 interceptions a game. He's being wild. But we saw certain talent in him. And if you go back to my podcast, I was saying to you guys, if he just lowers those intos and just don't throw the ball to the other team as consistently as he was doing it earlier, he's going to be fine. He's found a way to do that. Rely on Aaron Jones. Reed went crazy. There's a lot of things that are going on here because it may turn out that they don't have a lull in quarterback from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers if Jordan Love is able to keep this up. Because this is, as much as the people think the Bears, they're garbage, whatever like that, they're still an NFL team. And they're going to play hard knowing that the Packers need the win to go into the playoffs, right? They played pretty hard. Jordan Love just made plays. 316 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just made plays. Now, before you guys say the Dallas Cowboys are going to dominate the Packers, I would try to warn you guys that playoff Dak is not usually the Dak that you want. It's not usually the Dak attack that goes crazy with the rap-a-lap. Like, dude, I just had to make something rhyme. I don't even know what that was. But the bottom line is we don't know what's going to happen next week. So be very, very careful before you start putting your eggs in one basket with Dakota Ray and Prescott. I just want to be very, very honest. Other than that, the Bears, what's going to happen with Justin Fields? Who cares, dude? Broncos and the Raiders. The Raiders were able to pull this out. Good stuff on both sides. We knew the game was meaningless. We knew the Broncos sucked, and we knew the Raiders sucked. Antonio Pierce should get the head coaching job, though. I'm going to leave it at that. The Eagles and the Giants. We know what happened. We saw the dude's finger, bro. The dude's finger was bent out of shape. Okay? We looked at it. We saw it. Okay? Jalen Hurts, dude. Dude had a hand like the dude from Scary Movie, dude. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. If that finger... If you guys have ever had a finger that was out of out of the socket and like just really ridiculously swollen, which it's going to be, and you iced it and you did stuff like that, we all don't play professional football and, we're not quarterbacks. He needs that to be able to, grip the ball and do stuff like that. I don't know what might happen versus the Bucs, but it could turn out to be really bad for you Eagles fans. That's all I'm going to say. It could be really nasty. The Giants winning this game really meant nothing to me at all. So it was more about the Eagles losing, and they should have still won the game even without Hurts being out there for a majority of the game, in my opinion. So it is what it is. That's all I'm going to leave you guys with. You guys can take it how you want, whatever it is what it is, bro. I'm going to tell you guys again, the Giants, they have a lot of work to do. They got to figure out what's going on with Danny Dimes. There's a lot of nastiness going on over there. So we'll see how that transpires next year. But the Eagles, man, they're going into the playoffs limping. And when you go in there limping, we all know what happens. Seahawks and the Cardinals. Seahawks prevail, okay? They won the game, but they were eliminated from the playoffs. Now, I want to be very, very clear. I told you guys, regardless of what happens, the quarterback that they chose, the Raccoon, a.k.a. Geno Smith, is not a winner. I tried to be as nice about it as possible. You guys, for some reason, think that I'm just making fun of him. I'm not. The guy's a loser. All right. Now, he got his money, but it is what it is. He's not going to be a guy that's going to take you guys far at any point. So I do believe that they will try to move on from him despite his contract, but you may see him again. I'm just not sure how they're going to work it out. Like, let's just be honest. The dude sucks. And we got to just be upfront with it. As far as Kyler Murray, I don't know. The head coach is saying that he's the guy that they want. I think that that's a lie. We have to wait to see how it works out. But it's up in the air with that guy. I think he just wants to play Call of Duty, to be honest. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's ultimately where it is. Chiefs and the Chargers. The Chiefs rested their guys, okay? Chargers played their guys. Obviously, Stick is the quarterback there. Herbert's been out, obviously injured. The Chiefs go into the playoffs playing the Dolphins. This may be the first year in a while that the Chiefs are eliminated in the wild card. I'm going to leave it at that. You guys can debate in the comments. You can say whatever you want. Miami's not going to be playing games going into this game. All right? I'm just letting you guys know. Miami has something to prove. And the Chiefs may be going home. Rams and the Niners. This right here, nice stuff, bro. The Niners played Sam Darnold, and that's why you may have noticed that weird things were happening. And despite all that, the Niners get the bye, and they're the top team in the NFC. Rams winning, they're jumping into the playoffs. They're going to be playing the Lions. I got news for you, Lions. It won't be easy beating this team. Puka Nacua, you know what I'm saying, bro? That dude, he broke a lot of rookie records this season, man, and the dude is ready to go. He runs routes well. They could be a nightmare for the Lions. I just want to make sure everybody understands that before everybody starts going crazy on the Lions. Quarterback-wise, Stafford is way better than the bum that you guys have there with the Lions. I just want to be very, very clear. Jared Goff sucks, all right? So keep that in mind. G told you what was happening. Quarterback is very important if you're not a run-first team. Run first, play good defense type football. I'm just warning you guys. That's all I'm saying. You guys can say whatever you want. Be careful of the Rams. Obviously, the Niners have the bye, so we're not even going to worry about that. Cowboys and the Commanders. Cowboys destroyed the Commanders. But what have I always told you about Dakota Rain Prescott? When he's beating on a bad team, he beats the hell out of them. And that's what makes him different. If you are under 500, he's going to put his foot down. Yo, dude, it's going to get nasty. If you're 500 or above, the Dallas Cowboys may lose by 90. Let's just keep it popping, bro, and just say what it is. Now, they're playing the Packers, like I told you guys. That could be a major upset for the Cowboys if they don't do what they're supposed to do. I'm just letting you guys know. It's nothing particular about the Packers. It's more about the Cowboys winning the game than anything else. And I think that pressure is going to show. I do like what CeeDee Lamb has been doing. He's been a lot more consistent. Dakota Rain Prescott, 279, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's all cool and well. But the playoffs be having dudes' butt cheeks perking. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cowboy fans, just sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the show. The Bills and the Dolphins. The Bills go ahead and take the victory. The Dolphins still make the playoffs. It just changed up the seating a little bit. All right? Because after the Jaguars lost, it didn't really matter what was going to happen. But the Dolphins will be playing the Chiefs, like I said, and the Bills will be playing the Steelers. I fully expect the Bills to do easy work on the Steelers. That is my prediction. That's what I'm going with. All right? So in conclusion, I don't like the fact that the Dolphins have kind of played, however they played towards the end, even though they didn't really need to play as much. They rest some guys. They did a little different things. But I'm going to tell you this right now, right? Tua throwing interceptions the way that he's been throwing them on a consistent basis is not good going into the playoffs. I'm going to give you guys my predictions right now so you guys know, and you can hold it to me. Steelers versus the Bills. I got the Bills. The Dolphins versus the Chiefs. I got the Dolphins. The Browns versus the Texans. I'm going to take the Browns. The Packers and the Cowboys. I'm going to go ahead and take the Cowboys over the Packers. The Rams and the Lions. Oh, that's a tough one, dude. That's a real tough one, but I'm going to take the Rams. Eagles and the Bucs. I got to take the Eagles. I have to. Even with Jalen Hurts, if his finger doesn't come down, I just can't believe, yo, bro, it ain't no way the Buccaneers going to beat on them boys. I gotta leave it like that. Other than that, I thank you guys again for downloading my podcast all season. Look out for other special podcasts coming soon to keep you guys going during the off season. And other than that, thank you. Enjoy NFL football for the playoffs. You will get your podcast for the playoffs leading up into the Super Bowl. And I hope you guys enjoyed your day. Until next time, one love, y'all.